Right, come on, that's one.
Well, I need a request then, because I haven't a clue what to do.
Well, Jesus Christ.
Oh, right, okay. I'll do this one.
Right.
It ain't fun.
That's me.
Sorry.
Heckler.
Heckle me.
Oh.
This one's got a strange history. I kind of, I wrote it. I did it to my cousin. I was talking about my cousin in New York. I did it with my cousin in Times Square, and he loved it. And went off and made a 2.5-hour animation. So, but he put other things in it. I was just the catalyst for that. So this one's called Three Monkeys and Me, and I haven't done it for ages because when he took it, I kind of just stopped doing it because I kind of thought I gave it away. So now it's out, he's done his thing. I think I'll do it. So it's Three Monkeys and Me. 3 monkeys, 3 monkeys, 3 monkeys and me, sitting in the monkey puzzle tree. One cannot see, blinded by all the things he collected near and dear, shiny trinkets that he gathers like a king, piling up his hills, oh, you see, I've gone. I'm drunk, I've had 2 beers. Well, I know I'm part-timer on that one. Guarding his precious, his ball and chain, muttering the bitter injustice of his fate. But he's a prisoner behind his fortress walls, but his empty eyes speak of hunger still, that greedy knot he cannot, will not fill. 3 monkeys, 3 monkeys, 3 monkeys and me, sitting in a monkey puzzle tree. One cannot hear, his voice so very, very loud, he drowns us all within his stunning sound. He rants and raves of all us evildoers. He, a righteous man amongst all us sinners. With parrot words he spits his anger, listening to nothing that does not mirror the narrow path of his written text. A book of truths he has swallowed whole, that concrete wisdom he has gathered in his quest. A soapbox clown of lava words of hate and death. 3 monkeys, 3 monkeys, 3 monkeys and me, sitting in a monkey puzzle tree. One cannot speak. He sits in dark silence, glued to a silvery screen, popping his pills and snorting his dreams as his buzzing thoughts just steam with all the injustice his eyes have seen. But he forgot long ago how to utter no. But still he struggles from now and then, caught in a straitjacket of his own aching head, till his last and thawing thoughts just trickle down his chin. 3 monkeys, 3 monkeys, 3 monkeys and me, sitting in a monkey puzzle tree. And then there's me. I'm just a small bird sitting in a tree, looking at all the beauty the world can offer me. But oh, how I weep for thee, you silly, mad monkey 3, for you cannot speak, nor hear, nor even see. The mess we've made here in the monkey puzzle tree.
Tour 2012 to a close. From Aberdeen, Demented Eloquence, the host, Mr. Rapunzel Wizard.
Right, so I'm Rapunzel Wizard. Yes, I blame the parents. Right. Okay, I'll start with this one. It's a bit of an introduction to me. I'm going to do different poems to what I did in Glasgow and Aberdeen, apart from a couple. There we go. Yes, these ones will be just as bad, but different.
You got any poems that slag off Thatcher?
Yes. But I'm not doing. I did that the other day. You'd have to have been up in Aberdeen for that one. Right.
See if you
We'll
kiss
start-
them in the mouth. You'll think you are kissing Margaret Thatcher.
Shall we have some poetry? Right, this is called All Guesswork and it's a bit of an introduction to me. Hi, I'm Rapunzel Wizard and it's a shame that I can remember no one else's name. It's lame and I feel that utter plank, whatever you're called, is a gaping blank. But unlike many folk who are crap with names, I also have to admit that I'm pretty shit at remembering faces. I mean, I meet so many people in so many places, it's all a blur as it's were. It's a piss. I wish I didn't have the recall of a dope-smoking goldfish. And you can introduce yourself to me several times and you'll see my short-term memory is temporary, having been shot to bits by acid trips, hot-nosed mushies and many a bong. My synapses connect all wrong. So any name you tell me, thanks to all the drugs, doesn't stay between my lugs unless you owe me a pint. So when I can't place your name and I can't name your face and I have to read poems off the page, I ain't a disgrace. I'm just a case proving that drugs do work, and it's quite insane. I've been asked to front a health campaign for the government. So kids, drugs might get you high, but they aren't a big or clever thing to try, because you might end up resembling me and have my Swiss cheese memory. And kids, whatever your name is, remember, because I'm likely to forget, that if you don't do drugs, it'll mean there'll be more left for me. I said don't do drugs, because it'll mean there'll be more left for me. Thank you. All right. Unfortunately, I worked out my set list before I realised we'd be performing under a church, so if the pillars start to crack and all that, obviously God's not very happy, but I'm sure there's plenty of other gods if you want them. Right, okay. I'll do this one. This is called Drinking for Britain, and I have got drunk in pretty much all of these places, apart from the odd one that's been added in just to make the rhymes work. But nearly all of them is true. I've been mullered on mull, fuck-assed on buckfast in buckfast. Yes, it's always my fate to be 1 over the 8, so I'm drinking my way round Britain. I've been sick in Wick. Month with monthers in Midland, I've been drunk and disorderly on the streets of Kirkcaldy because I'm drinking my way round Scotland. I've been absent on absinthe, hurled in Purley on hurleymans for cheap offy offers while I've emptied my coffers. I've been rattled in Radley, addled on Addlestones in Addlestone. I've drunk trayloads of ullage in the pubs of East Dulwich and I'm drinking my way round Britain. I've bathed in Arbroath, been foo on brew in Carnew, Steve. Drunk those black coffees hung over in Glenrothes. I've been merry across the Mersey. I mixed scrumpy whiskey and Strathspey, but if Foster's and whiskey tastes just like piss, I know what piss tastes like. So I'm drinking my way round Britain. I've been groggy in Gretna, fucked in Bucky, mangled in Mansfield, tanked in Manx, lost in Clogsford, legs in Scakeless, hammered in Hammersmith, pissed in Partick, mashed in Maastricht, hailing Huntley, bride in Bradford, Laglin, Lidford, Rector, Wrexham, Reekily, Breaking, Reeling, and Ealing, Drugging, Duck, Heath, Meath, Creeth, Keith, and Cowden, Beef, because I'm drinking my way round Scotland. I can't remember it when I'm sober. Right, okay. I'll do this one briefly. This is a political one for you. This is all about David Cameron. I'd like to slam a hammer on the nose of David Cameron because it rhymes and it would hurt. Okay, as Andrew was here today, I thought I'd read a bit of prose. I thought, oh, if it's going to be hello poetry with a bit of prose. So I've got a little bit of prose from my book for teenagers. If you want to corrupt any teenagers, it's available on the Kindle and things like that for 77p. If you know, it's sort of Harry Potter meets Lord of the Flies. Not really suitable for kids anyway, but okay. Right, okay.
Call upon the author to explain.
Right, this is from chapter 2, where a whole school load of kids have been blasted into a parallel fantasy world, where Edwy, who's narrating, Gary and Matthew have used magic to get rid of their teachers, but the school bully, Paul Harbin, is a different matter. We started magic football matches We got the Year 1's infants class to play football, with a team of magicians standing behind each goal, helping each side. We were casting spells on the ball so it suddenly swerved sideways, or a kid so they had all the skill of a Premiership player. The 5-year-olds didn't have a lot of magic, so they didn't mind too much. Sometimes they ended up dribbling round the other team's defence and scoring a wonder goal. There was dangers involved in casting a spell on other people, but none of the Year 1's had exploded yet. We scored again! Harbin was furious and ran at us. A wave of frightened 5-year-olds parted as he charged across the playground. His gang flowed like a pack of wolves. "I've had enough," yelled Harbin. "You think you run this place because you can bewitch some little kids? Now I'm taking control. And do what I say, or else." Harbin was standing in front of Matthew, curling his fingers into a fist. "Has anyone got a problem with that?" he added. "Yes," replied Matthew, squaring up to him. Harbin was bigger and a bit harder and would probably have won in the scrap. "We could take you and your pathetic little friends," Harbin answered. His gang started spreading out in front of us. Matthew looked round to see if he had much of backing. Harbin spotted this, swung a fist at his head. I breathed deeply. I've been in many fights, but this was the first one where magic had been involved. I shouted the first thing that came into my head. "Lettuce!" I pointed at Harbin. He had already hit Matthew, but it was the last thing he did before turning into a green salad vegetable and dropping to the ground. It was mayhem. I jumped to the right to avoid a spell. I quickly saw that Harbin's sidekick Miraz Khan had cast a shielding spell around himself and was punching Gary. I commando rolled to avoid another blast and crouching down sent a radish back in that direction. Ooh. Gary had broken through Miraz's shield spell and was following my lead and was shouting, "Tomato!" Marshall was bleeding from the mouth and Matthew from his nose, but together they were finishing off one of the last of Harbin's gang. It was all over. There was a shocked silence and a lot of vegetables.
Whoa!
I've got some flyers if anyone's interested in that. Right, okay.
Got seats.
This,
I'm getting an allotment.
this next one is about the time I met Banksy, many years ago. And apparently I got very drunk and cornered him and was sort of spouting rubbish at him at a party. So this is all on me to Banksy. Once upon a time, over 12 years ago, in Bristol at a squat at a party, I met the graffiti artist Banksy. And he wasn't famous then, so his face wasn't hidden. Nowadays people ask me, what did he look like to you? But I've drunk a can of brew or two, well, in fact quite a few. And in mushy vodka I've been indulging. I was pissed and tripping, eyes bulging, brain not functioning, so I don't remember nothing. Except he had a face like a Picasso painting. And his wings kept growing wings. Right. This next one requires a prop, which I rather hoped we have something sort of handy to put it on about that high. Right, so this is what we used to use before we had PowerPoint and things. Unfortunately, not all the audience is in front, so I'm going to have to do sort of that.
Just see it. Yeah. Risk assessment, it says. Fuck's sake.
Right, this one is composed of various anagrams. The first one was an actual quote from a Channel 4 programme by a risk assessment officer. The rest I made up on a rainy weekend in Aberdeen. Garden is an anagram of danger, said the risk assessment officer. And the risk doesn't end there. To dig a pond is an anagram of got odd pain. Well, modern life's so deadly, so listen to health and safety. And indoors, the hazards are worser. Do it yourselves, an anagram of you'll die, F-tosser. And there won't be much sorrow if without an emergency plan you borrow me circular saw, it becomes see you slice arm raw. And if the power tools don't get you, a heart attack might possibly. Home improvement is move them, moan, R.I.P. Well, modern life's so deadly, so listen to health and safety. And the toxic fuse means it's paint the door or death point, and you get a whip-lashing from a plastic washing line, and the reckless assertion, I shop at Do It All till DOA at hospital. Well, modern life's so deadly, so listen to health and safety. Do nothing but sit and watch the telly. They say sit and obey, but I say hey. Sit and obey is an anagram of obesity, and I'm health and safety in anagram is slimy hate fun. So listen to me and ignore the scum, the slimy hate fun. Risk it, wreck their mindset, the slimy hate fun. Thank you. Okay. Right. I'm going to do this one. I can see, when I moved up to Scotland, I said I'd never drink Tennent's, but I lapsed quite quickly, and I will drink it on occasions.
What with Stella?
Bloody Stella's expensive, too pricey for me. Right. But the thing was, when they put they had adverts on beer mats. And this was a bit much. I mean, the advert on my beer mat said there were 10 different flavours in Tennent's. Now, I always thought there was none, it should be called Nunnants. So I swirled it in my mouth to see what 10 flavours would come to me. And they were, piss, metal, fizziness, sulphuric acid and more piss, landfill site, seagull shite, mouldy bovril, diesel spill, and a deep darkness that eats your soul. So when you see at tea in the park, that Tennant-sponsored Nedfest, the punters throwing their beer in the air, well, even an idiot's clever enough to know it's better than drinking the stuff. Yes, even an idiot's clever enough to know it's better than drinking the stuff. Thank you. That's a hypocritical poem, because I do drink it plenty. Right, okay. I'm going to do one more for you. But before that, I'm going to do my plugs. I have CDs available, live recorded CDs for a £5, with 23 tracks on there. And I've got booklets of nicer poems as well as some nasty ones for £2.50 there. I've also got band CDs from my band, but I can never fucking sell them when we're performing, so the fact we're not performing may mean I might be able to get rid of the band. Right, okay. Please support us poor poets. Right, okay. I'll finish with this one. This is my poem in praise of my favourite animals. I like the slugs, the snails, the scummy bastards of the animal world, the ones that are a bit like me, a bit crusty and horrible. And when I found out the slug's sex hormone smells just like beer, and a slug will happily drown itself in a pint and have a very good time dying, I knew I had to write a poem in praise of them. Slugs drink beer. I like slugs because I drink beer. And slugs eat hostas. I like slugs because hostas are planted in the backyards of hard-ass middle-class fascist bastards. And slugs eat fly garrix. I like slugs because I eat hallucinogens too. And slugs hate gravel. I like slugs because gravel covers the front dries of half-life middle-class Stepford men and wives. And slugs have eyes on stalks. I like slugs because after beer and fly garrix, I've got eyes on stalks too. And slugs lurk under stones. I like slugs because stones can be thrown at shits. Middle-class gits who use slug pellets. Yes, I love slugs. They drink beer, take drugs, plotting the down for the middle classes while oozing slime out of their arses. Yes, they drink beer, take drugs. I love slugs. Thank you very much.
Tonight, in order, we have had Sarah Morris.
You're superb.
You're drunk.
We'll get Jim out of the way now. Everybody for Jim.
I want to be my proper appointed
Rapunzel Wizard. That's the very guest. Start that again. Very special guest appearance from Listening to Govern. This has been Hello Poetry 2012, and good night.
For time, effort, and thought processes, everybody should stand up and give Craig a fucking standing ovation.
Yes.